Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Meets Vodka. I'm your host, Raya, and I'm handling life one shot at a time. Sit back, relax, let's talk all things pop culture, celebrities, gossip, trends, and let's become best friends. What? I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. I'm so excited to be here. Few announcements. If you guys are loving the podcast, please subscribe everywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Also, leave a review. I love feedback. I love compliments. I even love hate because haters are the motivators. If you want to be a guest, go to the link in the bio on the link tree. You can fill out the guest form. I love to talk to interesting people. You can be here, there, and everywhere. We can do in person or we can do it, virtual. So it doesn't matter. You don't necessarily have to be here in Houston. Be sure that you're following me on TikTok and Instagram at coffee.meets.vodka. If you want to be a guest on the show, fill out the guest form on the show notes. We have a lot of guests lined up for the new year. I'm excited and I can't wait to connect with everybody. Anyways, guys, there's a heaviness in the air today. Today is election day. It is November 5th. It's Tuesday. We're filming this on Tuesday. And by the time this comes out, we're going to have a new president. And I'm a bit frazzled. I'm a bit anxiety ridden. Have I been chronically online? Yes. But have I been I've been really watching Great British Baking Show, old Real Housewives of OC, cartoons. I've really just been doing self-care. Because I have to say the internet is wild and it's unfathomable in my personal opinion that the election is so close. I really hope I live to see the first woman become president. I think that would be amazing. Both sides have pros and cons, not trying to get into it. It's scary out there. Pray for us, pray for America. This is also kind of scary because for astrology news, Pluto is entering Aquarius, which is a 20-year cycle. It stays in each sign or for 20 or 30 years, Pluto does. And the last time that it was in Aquarius, there was the American Revolution. My point is, the last time that this sign, Aquarius, was in Pluto, there's specific life events and wars that go on. Well, we're gonna get into it and try to just detach for a little bit. I feel like I don't have too many stories today because like I said, I was chronically online, but I wasn't really reading about a lot. Because also all of my feeds were flooded with the election news. So it's hello, what's going on? Oh, I will say Roscoe, little update on Roscoe. My little Coco baby, he is finally done with heartworm treatment. What a crazy time that was. I rescued him on July 3rd. Immediately took him to the vet, immediately started him on antibiotics. So we've been doing this heartworm thing since July 3rd, and we had the tornado, the hurricane, whatever, all the things. And honestly, it's been a journey. The first round of heartworm treatment was pretty scary. Luckily, the vet didn't lie to me and did say that the first round is the hardest and is the harshest and kills most of the heartworms, because the second round, his ass was doing parkour here, there, and everywhere. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. I was trying to give him all the trazodone and nothing was working. So that being said, I'm so excited. I'm going to start taking him to Run Club. Although, had to take him to the vet today because he has diarrhea. I swear to God, somebody in the house is always having diarrhea. And I just don't want to take him. I'm still new to Run Club, being consistent. I don't want to take him and then he's literally shitting all over the, the path or whatever. And then I'm the girl with the diarrhea dog. I don't know. So anyways, we'll have to see. Hopefully he gets some medicine, but I know he'll be so excited because he loves people and he loves to run and play and stuff. So he'll be excited to get out of the house finally. Thank God. Anyways, I do hope that he just ate something bad. It is always nerve-wracking when your baby goes to the doctor, It's my little baby. Okay, so Halloween obviously just wrapped, and as I said before, I think it's funny that people are confused about how, like, when Halloween was, and they were like upset that it was like 2 weeks long. Babe, I don't care. Halloween can be the whole month of October. Like, Christmas is literally like 90 days. Like, why can't Halloween too? I don't know my favorite holiday. It used to be Christmas. I mean, it still is. Like, hello, my birthday's around Christmas. It's coming up. Oh my gosh, I'll be in Chicago soon. I'm so excited. If anybody has Rex, like, let me know. I am kind of type A, but I'm mostly like type B. So like I've been a little stressed out, so I haven't even planned my Chicago trip. Is that crazy? But shh, don't tell my friends that are coming. It's planned, it's planned. But yeah, so anyways, Heidi Klum had her Halloween party. She went as E.T., her and her husband, the German guy, Tom, went as E.T. I thought that was it was intricate, I'll tell you that. It was really intricate. I don't know how they moved the mouth and the eyes and everything like that. I feel like I didn't really hear that much hype around the party. You know what? The only thing that bothers me about this Heidi Klum Halloween party, or like celebrity Halloween parties in general, is that like they have access to special effects makeup and like professional hair and makeup. Like Kim Kardashian went as an albino alligator. I don't know. I mean, did she get the idea from Lana Del Rey? I don't know. But, you know, she was just basically naked with like scales all over her body. And not to say it didn't look good, but like, you know, I want to see some like not special effects. Like I want to see you going to like Party City or like Spirit Halloween and like getting some regular Halloween costume, or like being like really creative and like making up your own and like kind of making it that way. Like Benny Drama, Jake Shane, and Terry, Benny Drama's boyfriend, they all dressed up as pop stars. Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, and Charlie XCX. Like that was really good. Not really like special effects, makeup, or anything like that. You know, I don't know. I think like the whole ET of it all. I mean, yes, it was like very good and intricate, but like went full circle about being like impressed to not impressed, because like, yeah, you have like access to like the best special effects artists in the world, you know? Also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I did watch this show with her husband, Tom, and his brother, who now I forgot their names. I'm so sorry. But their band is called Tokyo. It was on Netflix and it was actually pretty good. It was just, they're like German pop stars, apparently. Like I didn't know that. And so Heidi Klum married a German pop star and they got their own show on Netflix, courtesy of Heidi Klum, I would assume, because that was the only reason why I watched it, because her face was in the trailer and the poster and she was in there for literally like 15 seconds. The show is really cute and it goes about their like journey, and I think like one of their birthdays and stuff, and like I don't know, it's like really cute. It's like 6 or 8 episodes. I highly recommend watching it. I'll link it in the show notes because I forget the name. Okay, did anybody watch the new Martha Stewart documentary? Oh my gosh, it was so good. Martha Stewart is apparently hating the documentary and the edits and like really upset with the director, is what I heard. I thought it was great. I thought that she was really that bitch and she really made lemonade out of lemons. Like she was this I feel like everything she touches like turns to gold. Like she was a stockbroker on Wall Street, like finessing all of these billionaires and millionaires and like just really like learning from them and like making so much money. She was making like $250,000 a year in I don't know, the 70s or 80s, you know, as a woman. And I just think that's so admirable. She got burnt out, she quit. And she wanted to be a homemaker, and she was like, well, I like cooking. What a crazy switch to be like a stockbroker, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna like bake cakes. Like, oh, I kind of love that for her, honestly. And she like literally was the first of her generation. They are saying that Martha Stewart's the first influencer. I wouldn't call her an influencer. I would definitely call her like, you know, the first of her kind. Like I think she's more than an influencer, whereas Paris Hilton is like the first ever influencer. And I feel like the word influencer is such a digital age maybe I'm in the weeds about like the term. Like all of a sudden I'm like Aristotle, but you know what I'm saying. Like Martha Stewart is just like supreme. And so she wanted to start like a catering company because like her husband was working for this ad agency and like doing books and stuff, and she would have all of the executives over for dinner. And they were like, "Oh my God, your food is so good," like blah, blah, blah. And she like really enjoyed hosting, you know, making like tablescapes and, you know, putting a menu together and things like that. And she was like, "Oh, maybe I can do catering." So she started catering. And then people were like, she was like really in demand. So she started her like empire, like to be honest. And what else she did that was really different was that she was like the sole owner and like the sole CEO of like Martha Enterprises or whatever it was called. And which was also really like unheard of for her time. She gets a bad rep for like saying that like she's tough and she's mean or whatever, but like they did make a good correlation. Like if she was a man, she would be admired. And coming from Wall Street to like building a multi-billion-dollar business, in my opinion, in like a short amount of time, like I think anybody who like switches careers like that and like can just build. I was even watching the designer for Schiaparelli or whatever, that fashion brand. He said he's only 30. He's only 30. I want to die. Like, what am I doing with my life? He said that he was like down and out, like couch surfing at like 25, whatever. And he was like getting presented with this award at like some fashion awards recently. And he was like, you know, I really like built this brand in 5 years. Like he like turned it around and like blah, blah, blah. 5 years? Like, I don't know. Anybody who can just build something I know it's not quick, but like that is kind of quick in the grand scheme of things. Really fascinating. And I feel like Martha Stewart really did that too. She got her first deal. So she wanted to do a magazine. Nobody wanted to do magazines. And she was like, it's called Martha Stewart Living. And then I'm thinking too, like all of the content, like you have to constantly be fresh for like, you know, content ideas. And I don't know, she definitely had like a staff to do like content and stuff, but like, you know, she had the final approval on everything. Like it was crazy. She did books. She did Martha Stewart Living magazine. She did her show. She did, you know, her like textile and like goods line with like Kmart. So she got her first deal in Kmart in the 80s, and all of her friends were like, "Oh my God, Kmart is so like frowned upon." And a lot of people, or some people, were like kind of stopped talking to her. But she made like $1 billion at Kmart. And then, okay, I always thought, and this is stupid of me because like I was young at the time, but like I always thought that Martha Stewart got indicted for Enron. Okay, that's crazy. That way it was I'm clone, which I guess kind of sounds the same, like Enron, clone. Like when you're like in 4th grade, it kind of sounds the same, I guess. So she was investing in this company called clone that it was kind of giving Elizabeth Holmes, where they had like a one-stop shop product to like fix multiple different types of diseases, illnesses, like whatever. And the FDA didn't approve it. She was really good friends with the person who like invented the substance or the medicine, and you know, he was like, "Hey, like the FDA didn't approve this, you know, we're gonna sell our stock, you should too." And she was like, "Okay." She was like, "I didn't think anything of it." 6 months later, she's on trial, or she's arrested for insider trading. My thing on insider trading, I was actually going back and forth, and I hope to God this isn't illegal, what I'm about to say. This is just my opinion. But I don't really understand insider trading. Like, I understand, I guess it's like not fair, you know, and you know, part of me is like, "Oh my gosh, it's not fair. Like, I want to know about insider trading. Like, I want to know before everybody else does, like, so I can get in, get out." Like, I get it. But then a part of me is like, you snooze, you lose. Like, I don't know. And I will say the government does not play about their money. Like, that is one thing. Like, they will go balls to the walls with the most like hardcore sentences, which is so crazy. But then rapists can just get off. So, okay, whatever. So, anywho, long story short, she gets indicted, as we know. She goes to jail for 5 years. She was so cute in jail, actually. She was, like, helping all of the women, like, start their businesses and, like, like, crocheting with them and stuff, and she made these ponchos, and when she, like, got out of jail, she, like, made everybody in the audience for, like, her new talk show to, like, wear these, like, ponchos. They were so ugly, but whatever. She's Martha Stewart. Who cares? This is also very important. She talks about how she met her husband when she was in college. This is her first husband. She's been with him for 27 years. She literally cheats on this man, in my opinion, because some people don't think kissing is like cheating. I think, yeah, stepping outside emotionally and physically of your marriage, in my opinion, is like cheating, right? She was on her honeymoon, and she kisses this guy at some temple that they were at. She was like, it was really like spiritual, and you just like had to be there. She's like, I wish, we could have filmed it back then, because it was so spiritual. Like, it's just like in the moment, and I don't even remember that guy, and whatever. And I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, like that's definitely like cheating, in my opinion, especially like on your honeymoon, babe. That's crazy. And then she also talks about how she had an affair with an Irishman that didn't last that long, and it doesn't count because her husband never knew about it. And it doesn't count because, like, she found out that her husband had been having all of these affairs at their home in Connecticut with, this house on Turkey Hill, which is what they, like, remodeled and where she started, like, Martha Stewart living and everything. And she was like, yeah, but if he cheats, he's a piece of shit and you should leave him. But if I cheat, like, he will never know. Honestly, it's iconic. And I think everybody's just up in arms because don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean? It's like, I think you guys, like, the men are just upset because, like, she's just doing what you guys do all the time. But she never got caught. She didn't want the divorce. He wanted the divorce. And I think he eventually, like, married the mistress that he was cheating on her with. She was like, I would have stayed with him. And she was like, after that, like, she's just like, relationships didn't really interest me. She was also, this is sad. Like, her love life is kind of, I don't want to be like kind of sad, but it is kind of fucked up, these men. But also like two to tango, like, she's a little cold, but was she always like that? I don't know. I don't want to like shit on Martha Stewart, but, she had this boyfriend for like 15 years and like through jail, she was like, he never visited me once while I was in jail for 5 years. She was like, I would write him letters saying like, be home soon. He would like communicate with me here and there. And then once she got out of jail, he like broke up with her and like dated and married somebody else. So fucked. And what's also so sad is that like one of her best friends was like the one, her statement on the stand was the one that like really was a nail in the coffin. And her best friend said, she was like, yeah, we were on the yacht. And Martha told me that, isn't it great to have people on the inside to tell you things? And that was the nail in the coffin for Martha. I mean, I don't know if she did, if she didn't do it. I think it's the same with like Jen Shaw and Elizabeth Holmes and like Martha Stewart, like Al Capone even, I guess, back in the day. Well, that guy was like a mobster and he like killed people. I think it's like a little different. But like people who do like financial crimes, I've kind of always said this, like they need to be in like a different, not tier, but like kind of tier and also jail. Like I don't think, tax evasion is like holds the same weight, or like, the Chrisleys are like in jail for like 20 years for like tax evasion or taking out fake loans or whatever, but like more than like rapists. I can't get over in sex trafficking. Diddy's only getting 12 years for sex trafficking. What? Like, I don't know. That's just I just don't think financial crimes should be, I know the government's pissed. And please don't come for me. Like, please, I have nothing. I literally have nothing. But I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished, but I just think the weight is crazy. You know what I mean? There needs to be like a middle ground. And speaking on that, a lot of people are saying that, just switching gears, that the Menendez brothers should be getting out. I've kind of listened. I still think my take on it, like, what is this do for the future of the judicial system, right? Like, if people are in jail for life and it's just like, oh, they'll forget about it in 30 years. I don't know. It's not my cross to bear, thank God. I have not been called for jury duty, thank God. Let's knock on wood, because now that I've said it, I'm sure I'll get something in the mail. I I used to think going for jury duty like could be cool, but then like no, because I would never want the blood on my hands to like, indict like an innocent person and then it's like too much. Anywho, Martha's great. So she went to jail. She came out. Ina Garten didn't want to be her friend. She lost a lot of friends because of the betrayal of her best friend. And then just like the social and socioeconomic of, where she was but she gained like a bestie for the restie, and that's Snoop Dogg. And that is my absolute favorite friendship ever. I think they are so fun together. I think he brings out like a really like cute, fun side. They were both just on Watch What Happens Live, and she brought burnt cookies, like burnt flat, like crispy cookies for Snoop Dogg. She's like, these are for Snoop. He can share if he wants. I know he likes them really crispy. Like, I just think they have like such a sweet friendship, and I really love that. Okay, I went on a little too long. Martha Stewart also said that Ryan Reynolds is her neighbor and that he's not funny. Couldn't agree more. I've always said this, like, I just don't think Ryan Reynolds is like that funny. Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds in every movie, show, commercial that he's in. He only has one dimension. Not saying it's not great, like definitely worked for the early 2000s, but I don't think that he's like a comedian, So, and then he like tweeted back, which I personally didn't get, that he was like, she's so spry. Like, I don't know if that was supposed to be a dig, and he's just like so sarcastic. People who are like overly sarcastic too, like I love sarcasm. I think I can be really sarcastic. But they're like overly, I'm like, okay, what else? Okay, maybe you're just a bitch. You know what I mean? That's like what I'm thinking. Gisele Bündchen is pregnant by her jujitsu instructor that she left Tom Brady for. I'm not mad at this. I think the way that Tom Brady is reacting is like wild. He posted a sunset of his beautiful backyard with landslide by the Chicks, formerly known as Dixie Chicks, I guess it was like the landslide was originally by Fleetwood Mac. Doesn't matter. Literally, all I can picture is him just like crying and like sliding down a wall because like Gisele's pregnant by a jujitsu instructor who is their son's jujitsu instructor, which is how they met. He was supposed to retire twice, and she literally gave him a chance, and he was like, no, and like he tried and then he didn't. And I don't know. Like I also really love that she has a higher net worth than him. Like she makes more money than him ever. And she hasn't worked in years. Like I think the last thing that she did was like, the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which was like 8 years ago or whatever. Like, and she has a higher fucking net worth than him, and he still could not give it up. And I don't know, maybe that's like toxic masculinity that he has to like, I understand like loving the game and loving your career and football being all you've ever known since you were, you could walk. I totally understand and empathize with that. But at the same time, it's like, what else? Like people shit on like John Cena and now Travis Kelce and The Rock and, whatever, like all of these guys taking like an acting approach after their like career ends or like pivoting like before they get injured, before they retire, just kind of I'm into it because like, what else are you going to do with your life once, that athleticism ends? Like you can't be beating your body up that much, for the rest of your life. And quarterbacks are different. Like quarterbacks, I think, are like the least tackled person in football. Look at me being a sports girly. I know they are the highest paid. That's highest paid and also isn't like wide receiver or something. I don't know. I love that. Also in sports news, Travis Kelce was at a game over the weekend and this kid was filming him and saying derogatory words, saying that, Travis Kelce is the F word for dating and hooking up or being intimate with Taylor Swift, which is, I didn't realize, but whatever. Travis Kelce did probably what the fuck I would do, grab that guy's phone, smash it on the floor, and then took it from him. And I love that. He's like apparently really upset. Like last night he was at he was doing commentary for the Chiefs game. I didn't watch it, but apparently he was like really upset Babe, we don't care. We love that. You're doing the Lord's work. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see justice and karma in real time. So don't feel bad, Mr. Jason. It's all good. Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz broke up. They ended their engagement, which I feel bamboozled because I was just going down this rabbit hole, you know, of them doing their whole Blink Twice media tour and with the puppies and the lie detector and the I love you and this is so sweet. Like, what's going on? And then Jenna Dewan's new husband or fiance, baby daddy. And then Jenna Dewan's husband tweeted, ha 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 ha, or something like that, which people are saying, like, that is immature. Like, who gives a fuck? But two, people are saying because apparently Channing Tatum had the divorce drawn out over years and like made it really difficult. I don't know if like Zoe Kravitz got out or if he's just like, haha, fuck. But then I'm like, then why would you say haha? I don't know. I'm not really getting it. I think that was weird and he shouldn't have commented and like he should really just like focus on his own family and also co-parenting because like they have a child together. Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum have a child together. So like he's going to be around. I don't know. Whatever. I still haven't seen Blink Twice. I need to. But, you know, if it's really scary, I don't know. I think it's like realistic. Remember I said about like the perfume and shit? Also, in some boring divorce news, Teddi Mellencamp and her husband Edwin are getting a divorce. Next, snooze, would have never known if she didn't put out a statement. I'm sorry. I really don't know why she's like the most boring person ever. Like when I look at her, I feel like Sleeping Beauty. I just fall asleep. Like, I don't dislike her. I just think she is so boring. I don't know how they have listeners on their 2 T's in a pod. Like, I've never listened. Kudos to them. Get this. This is interesting and controversial. There was this guy in New York who had a pet squirrel for the last 8 years called Peanut the Pet Squirrel on TikTok. And he rescued it because it was like fell out of a tree or like didn't have like a mom or something. And he like rescued it as a baby and like nurtured it and like brought it back to life, right? And now it's like his pet squirrel. And on top of that, apparently he has like other like a pet sanctuary with like other pets or other like rescued animals. This lady in Georgia, I want to say, saw the TikTok account and has been calling the New York State legislature for years to get this squirrel euthanized. And they did. They seized the squirrel over the weekend or late last week, told him that he cannot have exotic animals, I guess, in his like apartment or whatever it was. And they said, oh, he's going to a rescue center. Come to find out, they euthanized the squirrel. I just think that is so fucked up. Also, going around on Twitter, it's his OnlyFans. So not only did he have like a pet sanctuary or something or other in this like pet squirrel account, he also has like an OnlyFans and like he would do a lot of things like play with the squirrel like in his underwear. So like those like OnlyFans clips or whatever like that are like, I guess, suitable for the general public are going around on like Twitter and like saying like, oh, this is all part of his plan to like promote his OnlyFans. I don't think that's true. That's so, what a time that we live in. First to report on this is Jack Mack. Again, he's the guy that from Barstool that keeps me in tune with all of sports and just random things that I am also like very interested in. I just thought that was so fucked up with that lady and we need to do something about it. I listened to Armie Hammer's podcast. Stars, they're just like us. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Literally, I have to say, audio quality, terrible. I don't think they used mics. I don't know if they used a boom mic and then they were just like talking. It literally sounded like there was no mic. But then the mom kind of sounded like she had a mic. So I don't know if Armie was too far away. I don't know what was going on. I listened to the most recent episode. I thought it was the first one, but it ended up being the second one of him and his mom. What a weird episode. I'm probably like halfway through. It's weird. Did you guys watch House of Hammer or whatever it was called on Hulu? Because you should. It was apparently a documentary with his aunt, Casey, who the family doesn't talk to, and they're really upset with her. And apparently, according to the mom, she's the only one that she didn't bring in the family to come to Jesus. The mom is extremely religious, in my opinion. She would say she's not religious. She has a relationship with God. I think having a relationship with God is amazing. And she said that she's called to be an evangelist. I think that's sure, that's great. Like, whatever, like, do that in your own family system. My thing is that I think it explains a lot about how Armie is and how he was raised. He also, I just got to the part, I'm glad I didn't turn it off. He was sexually abused as a 14-year-old boy and probably into his late teens by a youth pastor where his parents were naive. It was kind of giving what was that one show on Peacock, My New Friend, The Neighbor, or whatever, where like the guy, it's just a true story. Oh, in plain sight, or whatever. The neighbor stole the daughter because he got really close to the family, and he stole the daughter, and like they hid out in a RV for like a couple weeks or months or whatever. It was like crazy. And anyways, it was kind of giving that. Like the youth pastor like got really close to the family, and they would go on like family trips and et cetera, et cetera. I think it was a weird choice for Armie to have his mom as his guest, one of which he kept cutting her off. He wouldn't let her finish her sentence. And I understand she got a little ADD and like far from his question. And maybe they actually should have just edited out a little more. They should have edited a little more versus he was just like, okay, but that wasn't my question. We need to bring it back to the question. Like, damn, bitch. Okay. You can totally see that they have a strained relationship. They were like arguing a bit. It was like a bit uncomfy. Because I also didn't understand what the episode was about. It was just about him and his mom talking about the relationship, but she was talking about God the whole time, which I mean, I love the Lord. I think that's great. She has an issue with Armie and his spiritual practices, that Armie does say that he believes in God, but then like he like meditates and stuff and she thinks that's demonic. I don't really know where we were going with this, like that guest like episode. I wanted to hear about the cannibalism. I wanted to hear about how you got, like, how you're like, when did you start cheating on your wife? When did you think that like saying you would cut somebody's liver out and then use their blood as like lube for anal as foreplay? Like what? Who's getting off on that is what I want to know. That's where I want to know. I don't really care. Like I already saw the documentary and they're like, it wasn't true. I think it was true. I think there's a lot of truth to obviously everybody's gonna have different perspectives, right? It's just like when I go to therapy with my mom and Armie's talking to his mom, you know, you guys are telling the same story differently. Like you have different perspectives, different way it makes you feel. Like that might have been better if they brought in like a therapist or maybe further along in their healing journey and like could communicate better, because like he was cutting her off. They were kind of getting into it. And also raging narcissist. I mean, you can totally tell. He was just like, he loves to hear himself talk. And I just couldn't imagine arguing with this guy. I could not imagine being married to this man, arguing with him and being, I don't know, something so simple. The water is hot. No, it's not. Like, you know what I mean? Like the water is hot to me. Like maybe it's not hot to you. And like, now you're going to try to convince me that like, we don't, you know, like we need a different hot water system. I don't know. It's like so scary. So I don't know. I'm not gonna listen to more because the fucking production of it all. And then the thing is like you have a production studio and you have somebody like producing, like there's like a third party there. Like, where are you guys filming? You don't have money to like just go to like a little studio to like produce it, or like you don't have one friend. I mean, you probably don't, but like you don't have like what, isn't he trying to get back into acting? Hasn't enough time passed to where he's like back into acting or something about that? That's all I have today. I don't know about this episode. I hope that we have a new president, a good president, not scary president, come Thursday when this episode drops. I am on pins and needles, I think, like the rest of the world. Well, the rest of America, maybe the rest of the world. Please say prayers, get out there and vote today, which it's going to be pointless to say this, but I do hope you did vote. I hope you voted early. I voted early. Like, share, comment, tag us in your posts at coffee.meets.vodka. Follow us at Coffee Meets Vodka on YouTube and anywhere you get podcasts. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.